First and foremost, I would like to say good evening to all my marvelous humans out there in the universe. Um, my name is G Wheeler, and welcome to Human to Oxygen. Tonight is my first video, so I thought, what better place than to start for a first video other than the topic of dysphoria? Um, for most transgender or third gender individuals, dysphoria is the main topic of the beginning. It's the best way I could kind of describe it. Um, Dysphoria is basically a state of mind. You know, it can be physical, it can be social. Um, Dysphoria makes you feel unease, or it generally is a feeling where you are totally dissatisfied with your gender or your sex. Um, when I say it could be physical or social, physical dysphoria, you may not like the way your body looks. Um, you may want certain body parts of a sex that you perceive yourself to be. You may feel socially that you're not treated as the gender that you believe you are by others. Um, the best way to overcome this dysphoria or this feeling that you are not who you want to be or who you are looked at to be is by learning, researching, find out what gender roles are, find out what gender identity is, begin to understand what is the gender binary, what does the world see as gender. And when you say what does the world see as gender, you have to also remember over the years, due to science and technology and uh, just time overall and changes in it, nowadays scientifically we understand gender as more than just male and female. You know, a human's chromosomes are not just X and X or X and Y or Y and X, and it goes way deeper than that. And now that people are beginning to understand, it's making it more acceptable. It's kind of like the more you know, the more power you have because you understand it. So instead of because you don't know, not being happy, why not learn and become happier? So the best way to beat dysphoria, and this is for all of my young LGBTQ out there, all my young transgenders and third genders, um, learn, read it, find out. Deciding who you want to be will make you happy. I know one of the first things that I went through when I first realized I was even having a dysphoria with myself was deciding, well, what am I? Am I just a lesbian? Uh, does this actually have something to do with the sex that I believe that I am? Um, you have to decide, what is your dysphoria about? Why are you feeling the way you're feeling? Are you just unhappy with a certain body part you have? Are you just unhappy with the way that you dress? Are you just unhappy with your hair? Or maybe, you want facial hair. I, everybody is different, as to their dysphoria. But the main thing is you must decide who you are from what you learn. You know, um, after you decide who you are, make sure that that decision does not mentally, physically, verbally, emotionally, or psychologically hurt you or someone else. That's how you know you made the right decision. Um, when I say that, I'll say it again. Make sure that it does not hurt you or someone else physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally, or psychologically. It shouldn't be something abusive. It shouldn't be abusive to others or to yourself. It should be something good. When you make this decision, there are going to be people that don't agree with it. They will tell you it's not good. How you'll know it's the right thing? Because it'll be the truth. It will open up your heart to the beauty in life because you'll be able to receive life because you're not dysphoric anymore. You will not be dissatisfied with who you are by you deciding and making a decision. I mean, you can't achieve a goal without a definite purpose and a definite decision. So once you make that definite purpose and definite decision, nobody can take that away from you. And you will begin to see that doors in your life will open up in ways you never thought they could because now you accept yourself. How can anybody else accept you if you don't? You know, um, life is amazing and everybody sets goals in life, and you want to achieve these goals and you want to be persistent, you want to have confidence, and you always want to strive to do your best. But how can you do this if you're dysphoric? How can you do this if your mind is not stable and you're not happy with who you are? Uh, this goes all across the board, not just with gender. Making a definite purpose and a definite decision about who you are, who you want to become, and following through with it with an effective plan and achieving these goals is what will kill your dysphoria. I see it all the time. A lot of trans men, trans women, M to F, F to M's, butches, studs. Oh, I'm dysphoric today. Oh, my dysphoria is killing me. That's because you haven't made that definite decision yet, that definite purpose. Even if it's a matter of you may be a young teenager, you may be living with your parents. I've been there. And you may be in a situation like, man, I just got to hold on. But it comes a point when you get to that time and you make a decision of, I'm going to stand on my own. I'm capable of doing it. And, you make things happen. There are ways around the dysphoria. There are ways to cut through the dysphoria. This is me telling you, don't give up. This is really for my teenagers as much as the adults. You know, don't quit. You can change. You can make your environment comfortable with your change. The only way to, though, is by learning and teaching your environment and the people around you. So not just you learning, but these people will learn as they watch you change. As they watch you learn and understand yourself, you'll be able to explain to them, hey, this is who I am. This is what I represent. And these are the reasons why. It's not because I'm mad at the world. It's not because I'm mad at my parents. It's not because I was raped. It's not because I was molested. It's because I was born this way. And whoever can accept it, I don't know what to tell you. It's not going to stop you from being who you are. It's not going to stop you from being the beautiful person that you are. It's not going to stop your life from existing unless you let it. So let's sum all of this up. Dysphoria is a big thing for me because um, once you make a definite purpose and a definite decision of who you are and who you want to be, and your dysphoria dies, you be in a transition. I call it transformer phase. You begin to become that person that you want to be. And the transition is a beautiful thing. Everybody's transition is different. Everybody has a different identity, So my transition may not be like your transition, but all these transitions are beautiful. I would say that's the same thing that we all have in common. Um, as you begin to transition, it could be just your clothing. Uh, you might cut your hair. You might grow your hair. You might dye it. You know, maybe You might decide I'm going to get surgery, or maybe you might decide you don't want surgery and you're fine with just working out more and building your body to look a certain way you would like for it to. It all depends on what you decide you would like to do. Um, the other thing I wanted to touch on is as you begin to, become less dysphoric daily, because, now you have a definite purpose because you read some things or went to the library, researched gender roles, researched maybe even chromosomes. Maybe you researched, you know, just the attitude, the dress, the persona of the gender that you would like to become. As you begin the process of changing and, your transition starts, you begin to adapt to your new gender identity. You begin to uh, sort of metamorphosize into this new beautiful creature. I say creature because, yeah, we're humans. All right, I'm going to leave that alone for now. That's a whole other thing. Marvelous humans we are. All right, so I decided to, I haven't done this yet. I'm only doing this because I decided to do this video and I'm like, how can I tell somebody to research and decide who they are? That would mean I would have to decide who I am, right? So, I came up with a brief, a brief title of what I consider myself to be. Um, it's kind of long. Um, I am a lot of people in one, so uh, I'm gonna break it down for you. I'm trying not to stall. Let's get it there. So, I am third gender. Okay. I personally identify as both masculine and feminine. However, I consider myself to be a other. I'm naturally masculine. I do not take testosterone. I never have. Um, I do just work out pretty much. I've always worked out. Try to stay physically fit. Um, but I identify with male and female, meaning some people call me ma'am at times, and some people call me sir at times. When I say I define myself as a other, I pretty much prefer not to be called male or female. Um, there are other words that I do at times um, like to hear. Um, I like Z. I like Zim. Um, at times I do her or C. Um, it's just anything other than ma'am or sir. That's my own personal. I will answer to people. It's not a problem. They don't understand the whole thing of other. It's like, how can there be other sex? It's because I'm so much man and that yet so much woman. It turns into something else. It's something that I understand. And as long as I understand it, that's all I need. It's not for everybody else to understand. I'm sharing with you, but you'll notice that once you decide, who you are, that it'll be something that nobody else, they can't understand it the way that you can because they're not you. Um, my sort of categories that I fit into is kind of long, so I'm gonna try and speed this up and make this a little bit. Let's see if we can make this a little bit more quick. But here we go. So I am third gender. I do like to describe myself as a other. Yes. I am queer. I am androgynous. Um, the reason why I'm queer and androgynous, well, my gender is neutral, as I said. I identify with both my masculinity and my femininity, meaning I'm okay in the body I'm in. I've learned through other ways of just being me. I've learned through, I'm trying not to go into detail because this is going to be a whole nother topic another day, as to how I figured out to identify with both and accept myself as both masculine and feminine in such a crazy world. But I do. I am gender neutral, meaning that I both masculine and feminine. Let me keep going. So far we got third gender. I'm also queer. I'm also androgynous. So F to M, trans man. I am female to male. Um, I have transitioned into being a man. Um, other than my body, I am non-op. I have decided not to get surgery. Um, myself personally, I believe that anybody who is a trans man or a trans woman, um, or F to M or M to F, however you want to put it, it's a decision that you have to make. But when you make that decision to have surgery, to be pre-op, it needs to be a decision um, based on what you justify and not nobody else. So I would, in other words, say, um, for myself personally, I don't need surgery to define the man that I am. I was born a man. And I'm not saying nobody else was. However, there are times where there are people who will say that me having that sexual identity in that manner, or me fully becoming the gender role that I would like to be, will take for me to physically have every part of it. You know, in my head, everybody has their own beliefs, but for me, I was very comfortable in making a decision that I identify with both masculine and feminine, and me personally having a penis would not make me any bigger of a man. I'm actually a bigger and better man by making the decision that I made. Um, it's a personal decision. It's a personal choice. I don't knock any F to M or trans men that decides that they want to be pre-op or that they want to take testosterone. For me personally, it's just something that I did not choose to do. Um, at times, will I have people ridicule against me because of it? Yeah. I have, trans men or F to M that say, oh, you're not a man because you don't have a penis. You still have breasts. Well, some men have breasts, you know? Um, and a penis is not what's going to make me a man. My actions make me the man that I am. Then I have studs, or butches, lesbians who will say to me, well, you're not a lesbian. You're not a butch. You're not a stud because you look like a man. But, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter what anybody says. And that's exactly why I am third gender, because you can't necessarily put me into a category because I am who I am. And I am all of the above. Even though I am more masculine and feminine, you know, um, I can identify either way. You know, let's move on to the next. Would be um, a butch stud lesbian. I mean, that's self-explanatory. I am a lesbian. Um, I predominantly, only date lesbians. Um, I am a butch or a stud, technically. You know, um, So I mean, the way I'm looking at it, and I kind of try to put it all in one for you. I am a third gender, androgynous, queer, FTM trans man, butch stud lesbian. All these words in one. It's a lot of words in one. And this is, I mean, if I had to put myself in a category, according to society and according to science, this is what I would come up with who I am. The best way that I like to personally describe, who I am is I call myself a whoa man. You just look at me and you say, whoa man, like it's it's crazy, but yeah, I'm a whoa man. You know, it's that beautiful. You know, if you meet me and you interact with me, you may understand more, or you might be understanding it now with this video. You know, um, but that's the best way I like to call myself as a woman. Because I am third gender, it's hard for me to fit into a category. F to M's kind of give me a struggle because they're like, oh, you don't want to take T, or you don't want to have surgery, and that's my choice not to. But does that mean that I haven't transitioned from female to male? I live my life as a male, um, totally. I use the men's restroom. I pretty much do everything that a man would do. But even as lesbians, they'll say, "Oh, you ain't a woman. You know, you're a man." I mean, the main purpose of me doing this video is because I got to a place where I finally am comfortable with who I am. I no longer have dysphoria, you know, um, and I want to share that with other people. And I see a lot of people who have dysphoria, and the main way to get rid of that dysphoria is decide who you are. You cannot decide who you are if you don't even know who you're capable of becoming. And like I said, there's teenagers out there. I'm sure you guys watch these videos, and I want to give you some hope. When I was a teenager, I didn't have hope. I grew up in a predominantly religious background in a very Christian environment, um, and homosexuality, let alone changing your gender binary, it wasn't allowed. It wasn't going down. So I just want to make this video, and this is my first video where I'm really going into detail about anything, um, especially dealing with dysphoria. Be you, be you, and when you be you, make sure you're not breaking the law. If you're breaking the law, then you need to move from where you're from. And I say that for really for my international people who live in places where it's a whole nother story than America. Maybe you need to start thinking about venturing out and taking school and going abroad somewhere. Taking classes abroad. Anything to get you out of the environment that you're in if it's unhealthy for you. Dysphoria cannot end. You cannot kill the dysphoria unless you're real with yourself and you begin to live in that reality. Logic kills dysphoria. And the only way to get logic is by learning, reading. This is not something that I acquired overnight. I began my transition, I want to say about 3 years ago, and it's still a work in process. You know, um, and I hope this was very helpful for you guys, and ladies. I know there may be trans women watching this as well. Um, like I said, I pretty much categorize myself as third gender. One thing I noticed in realizing that I'm third gender is there's not a lot of third gender people like me that I've noticed out there, just all natural, just third gender. Um, if you are out there, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear comments, feedback. What I will do, my email address is human to oxygen at gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook at human to oxygen um, Facebook. You can also find me on Instagram, human to O. That's human, HUMAN, the number two, and the letter zero. I do short phrase human to oxygen for human to O. So I also have a blog on WordPress, which is also on the human to O, WordPress.com, human to oxygen, WordPress.com as well. But you guys feel free to email me at Gmail. Also, you can leave any comments or questions you have down below. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm really hoping that this video is very helpful to somebody. You know, when I began my transition, I didn't have any help. I I couldn't even get help. I tried to get help. You know, I reached out to a lot of different individuals. I'm sure they know who they are. You know, I asked for help. I asked for mentors, and I was turned down because I don't want to take tea, because I am non-op, because I am a natural FTM. I'm a natural trans man, and I'm also third gender. So, with that being said, I will not turn anybody down. Any questions you have, anything I can be helpful with, um, feel free. And maybe there's something you guys can tell me that might help me as well. But I definitely enjoyed this moment, and I hope you did as well. So, G Wheeler signing off. I know y'all ain't see that piece, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And I look forward to doing this again. And thank you.